just guitars. But yeah, just gonna walk through a whole bunch of stuff.
Hang on. I'm being told no audio.
No audio. Yeah. Awesome. One moment, folks. Moment. Technical difficulties, yes. Difficulties. I hate Mike.
I can hear on my end. Are we good now? Can you hear us?
Hello. Check one. This is Corey. Coming to you live here from Earth. Keep talking, Corey. If you can hear me, raise your hands high.
Sorry, I gotta push faster.
Check one, check two. The Acoustic Shoppe here. We're live in Springfield, Missouri. Can everybody hear me? Are we?
Austin, can you turn on the sound?
Where do you turn on sound?
Like on this.
On what?
Yeah, I can hear on my end. People, let us know.
We got sound on. I don't hear anything.
Okay. Well, we are still technical difficulties here. Still technical difficulties. Hold on with us. Yeah. Technical difficulties. I've got technical difficulties. And we're trying to get things working right.
Bulldogger wants to know what guitar would be best for a zombie apocalypse, because we don't need sound.
Probably an Atkin.
Yeah.
Probably an Atkin.
Oh, we got a yay. Does that mean we're here?
Hello? Check one, check one, check one.
That sounds like sound
Hello?
to me.
Are people here?
Your mic, Corey.
Can you all hear me out there?
Tap it one more time.
I can hear you here.
Yeah, I think we're coming through mics.
Hooray! Hello, everybody. This is Corey. I was singing a song, but you guys couldn't hear it because I was under technical difficulties. So, the folks of you out there who can hear me now, hello. My name is Corey. I'm here at the Acoustic Shop. This is my place of business. And yeah, we're going to talk about some different stuff that we got in today. It's New Guitar Thursday. Hello. So please tell us where you're watching from. Please tell us if you have any questions. I will try my best to answer everything in John's stead today. And yeah, we'll just kind of walk through some of the cool new guitars and mandolins and everything else that we got in this week. So yeah, here I am. So the first one I have here that I was playing my technical difficulties song on that nobody out there heard except for the people in the store is a 515 Limited. These came back in. These are really, really cool mandolins. Black top, of course, bound fretboard. And this one is the Adirondack Spruce Limited Edition that they made a batch of. And they have been making for a little while now. So, yeah, I wanted to play it a little bit, and I'll just wait for some questions here for a second.
Bulldogger is wondering, what is the weirdest smell that you smelled at the shop?
Man, the zebra cake candle, I would say, would take the cake, no pun intended, for the weirdest smell that I've smelled in the shop. Only because a zebra cake by itself can be a wonderful thing, but if you then engulf your entire surroundings with zebra cake smell, then you just feel like you're inside of this weird waxy sponge cake, and then that's not quite as good as.
Not a fan of living inside a zebra cake?
No, not really. But I do like the zebra cakes on their own. So, yes, 515 Limited, black top, maple back and sides, bound fretboard, bound top. These are sweet. These are like right around $1,500 with a hard shell case, and that's crazy for an Adirondack Spruce and maple mandolin. So I wanted to show these off because they're always awesome when we get them in. Of course, we still have Eastman stuff always coming through. We got in the MD 404, the oval styles. These are awesome, especially if you like playing Celtic and Irish music. It's kind of like a different sound altogether. It's not quite like a chopping mandolin, you know. Although you can still chop on it, it still sounds good. These are awesome. They just project differently, and they're a ton of fun. I like the MD 404s as a really awesome upper intermediate level oval hole mandolin. Those are fantastic. Of course, we got the 305s in, the 305 Sunburst electronic ones. And then we just received an Eastman shipment with some cool guitars here. I'll show you in just a second. But these, on that shipment also came 315s. So if you're looking for a 315 F-style, one of the Eastman's entry-level F-style mandolins, we do have them. We're just a little under the gun this week because we have a lot of folks out, which is why you're seeing me today, which is, for better or for worse, I am your guide on this expedition. Cool. So now we're going to talk about some of the Eastman guitars, Eastman guitars in that we got. So We just got back in some of the usual suspects, the usual favorites of a lot of folks who shop at the store. We just got back in the E6 SS TC. These, of course, are going to be a slope shoulder, slightly shorter scale, 24.9 inch scale on these as opposed to the 25.5 or 25.4 inch. Nice back and sides of mahogany. If you guys have been following us, you probably know Eastman's been getting some great mahogany guitars in.
We have Mike wondering if there's any 315Es.
That's a good question. I think that there might be one, but I think the majority of the ones that we got in were like 4 or 5 standard 315s. Those will be out soon as I get around to being able to receive them, because our typical receiving and ordering person is out this week on vacation. So, yes, we do. We should have one. I might have to double check that though. We also have the E10 SS TC Sunburst. These are always gorgeous. Really nice back again on this one. Maybe not quite as flamed as that first one I picked up, but really nice mahogany set. These are always awesome guitars, especially if you're looking for an Adirondack Spruce Dreadnought slope shoulder. That is crazy. They are so good. Of course, we got in one of our personal favorites and one of my personal favorites, as always, the standard E10D TC. These are Adirondack Spruce mahogany on these. They are always beasts, always fantastic guitars that we get into the store. A relatively no frills guitar. I mean, you have Adirondack Spruce, torrefied Adirondack Spruce. You have solid mahogany back and sides. This is a fan favorite and a shop favorite. I always have to play these when they get in the store because I'm always excited to hear what they sound like.
I was taking pictures of that one. That one is amazing.
This one? What do we got here? We got the E20D TC back in as well.
Blew me away.
So Trent says that this is a really good guitar. So we do see a lot of the E20D TCs. They're always great, but if Trent says that it's extra special, we're going to have to play it. We'll have to try it real quick. Unless I have any other questions, Janelle.
You're good. I think we should hear it play.
All right. This is one of our most popular selling guitars in the shop, the E20. That is a good sounding E20, a really good one. Yeah, that's a great sounding E20.
Corey has no idea why we're laughing. Trent was changing the colors on you during that.
Was he?
Yeah, I was trying to get the white mouse right.
So yeah,
A little orange.
we've got a lot of the standard fare came back in here this July with the Eastman. Fan favorites like the slope shoulders and the dreadnoughts, always great guitars. Some of our favorites.
How do the Eastman built... Oop, it moved on me. Ooh, where'd it go? Eastman built Bourgeois guitars sound compared to the Martin D18 and D28.
Yeah, so the D18 and the D28, as I'm sure a lot of you out there who have probably played those guitars before, the thing with Martin guitars is they sound like a Martin guitar. Now, I know that that is probably a vague answer, but nothing ever quite sounds exactly like a Martin guitar. Martins tend to have this like really dry and robust Martin sound. You know, it's just what you put, like you can staple that in as no matter what Martin guitar you're getting, you know it's going to sound like a Martin. And maybe that sounds like too simplified of an answer, but with Eastmans, they tend to be obviously a lot of the same types of specs. Like you can get an E6D that is essentially spec'd just like a D18, a standard would be. The Eastmans tend to be a little bit more focused and modern sounding, if that makes sense. Whereas a Martin kind of harkens back to that old style Martin sound that a lot of us know and love. So if a person is dead set on getting a Martin and getting that Martin sound, you're not going to quite find that with almost any other brand. But if you're willing to branch out and kind of find these slightly different nuances with these different builders and manufacturers, I think that you'll find that there's a lot of other really cool nuanced sounds that you can get out of some of these other brands, like Eastman, for instance. Yeah. Did you have any other questions, Janelle?
We have some people. Your J run was very controversial today.
Oh, was it? Well, well, that's, I guess that's good. We'll get the folks talking a little bit. Yeah, I don't know how to do the J run. Yeah, that's okay.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Will there be any more Eastman creations in walnut?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know on that. I know that there was a little while there where Eastman was doing the E20, the E22 slope shoulder in a varnish finish with walnut and Adirondack. I don't know if those are going to come back or not, or if there are any available. There very well could be some available. But as far as I'm aware, that in the 00 and the standard slope shoulder dreadnought were the only options with walnut from Eastman at that time. And that was about a year ago. There may still be some floating around out there, or even available for us to get. So, yeah. So I'm going to show you guys some other really cool guitars. And we're going to kind of walk through new things that came in, and then also Corey's picks. So first one is, of course, you guys have probably seen this on the interwebs out there in the ether, the FS9. So this is the FS9R. This, of course, coming out after the FG9. So the FG9s and the FS9s, if people aren't aware, are Yamaha's kind of ultimate premium guitar that they've been marketing over the last couple of years. And then the FS9 just came out this last June. This is, of course, a smaller body option from the FG, but still with all of the same types of specs and overall look and design. These are fantastic guitars for someone who's been looking for an OM or something just a little bit smaller in depth of body than the FG9. This is an excellent, excellent option. So we do have this one back in stock, just this single one at the moment, but more will be on the way. Also wanted to talk about, let's see here, the Yairi that we got back in here.
Could I get your opinions on the Sigma 000 series?
The Sigma 000 series? I haven't really played a lot of Sigmas. I have played some Sigmas. They were all, friends, guitars, or what have you. But we typically don't get those in the store. From time to time, I have played a Sigma guitar, and yeah, they're perfectly fine guitars. But here I have a FY70CE Shadow Burst, which is an awesome name for a burst. Very mysterious name for a burst. Of course, the Yairis are well known for their different bridge design and bridge pin design that they have, which I was talking to our Alvarez rep about these, and I'm sure maybe John had mentioned this at some point or another, but he was saying that this design was meant to transfer energy to the top, vibration to the top more efficiently. So with this, you have a much higher break angle on the strings. So a really sharp break angle that goes directly to the top is what they say on these. And I think that there's something to it. And they also claim that there's less issues with bridge issues because of that.
We have Jake Weber wondering, why does Eastman gloss spray their bridges?
Gloss spray their bridges? Yeah. Well, at least from my understanding, and from if I were to just go look at all the Eastmans we have out there, they aren't gloss sprayed. It's a standard ebony bridge, in some cases rosewood bridge. I haven't seen gloss sprayed Eastman bridges, or actually like glossed over bridges. That's not very common, or that I've ever seen. Then, of course, with this guy, this Alvarez, you get the LR bags side mount here that has some really nice stuff. You have your phase, your tune, your bass. And these are such good sounding guitars, guys, especially if you are a strummer and want something that is going to be extremely present and vibrant as a guitar. Yeah, they're exceptionally comfortable to play as well. They have this kind of like slight modified V-neck that really just fits comfortably. It's not thick at all, so if there are those of you out there who are adverse to kind of larger necks, this is a really good option.
What is your view on the Eastman E2 cedar top acoustics?
The E2 cedar tops, yeah, so those are great. Cedar tends to be a really cool option. I mean, you see cedar a lot in classical and nylon instruments. You also see cedar on smaller body guitars a lot. But one of the aspects, or like the strengths of cedar, is it's a softer tone wood for the top, so it tends to be a little bit warmer and be more responsive to soft touch. So if somebody is a finger picker or a light strummer, I think a cedar top is an excellent option. But if somebody is a harder player, like a bluegrass player or country, you know, really digging in, you may find that you might be a little governed by a cedar top, if that makes sense. Because it is more of like a delicate sounding type of soundboard. And that, once again, that's a subjective thing to me. But I've played some amazing cedar-topped guitars, and it's a wonderful tone wood.
Does anyone know why Eastman stopped making the double tops, other than maybe just too time-consuming?
Yeah, I don't know too much about that. So whenever I first started working here, I had seen people asking about the double-top Eastmans. I know that John, one of the owners here, he had found that we weren't necessarily selling them, and there weren't a lot of folks out there who were pining for one, so to speak. So we just weren't carrying really that model exactly, and we haven't received a lot of interest in them lately. So I don't know exactly why Eastman hasn't had as many of those.
Somebody asking about the FSX5. What do you think about that one?
FSX5?
Yep.
Yep, so that's the Yamaha.
The red label.
The red label Yamaha. Those are great guitars. Those are the Japanese-made ones. The 5 series is. If it's a 3, it's made in China. And those are also excellent, by the way. That's one thing I can tout for Yamaha, is that their consistency and their quality control amongst all of their guitars is fantastic. Some of the best I've seen. Even their $350-ish entry-level guitars around the 830, which we carry as well. Those are very well set up guitars and very well made and kind of manicured guitars. I would 100% play an 830 or an FSX3, FSX5, any of those for sure. They're very comfortable guitars to play, and they sound great. Very much. They kind of remind me in some ways of like the Alvarez type of tone and sound. They're very big-bodied and modern-sounding instruments that have a lot to offer, especially for versatility, I would say. Yeah, cool. All right, so we got the Irie in here, the FSY, I believe, the FY70, sorry. I'm still getting all my model numbers right. It's impossible to know all of these. That's why I have tags to help me, to help guide me. But yeah, so those are some of the big ones that we just got in. And we also, I don't have them over here yet, but we also got in some new Martin guitars, some new D18s, which I know that some folks are going to be excited for. And those hopefully should be reaching our website in the coming days here.
Have you seen the Lore LH600 and LH700 acoustic archtop guitars? I hear good things.
I've not. No, I've not. I've only played the Lore mandolins. I haven't played any of their instruments or their guitars. I've played some of their instruments, but no, I have not seen the guitars, but I'd be happy to. I always like playing new stuff. So, yeah. All right, let's see what else we got out here. Atkin. So, I know there's probably at least a couple of you out there on the YouTubes who are aware of Atkin guitars and what we think of them. I think these are fantastic, fantastic sounding guitars. Of course, we still have the heavily relict, the LG, I think this is the 36, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, the 47, sorry. The LG 47. This looks like it has been mangled by a hound or dropped and dragged behind a bus. That does not take away from how fantastic it sounds. That is one of my favorite guitars in the store right now. But we did just get in, and maybe John has showed this off already, but I haven't showed it off, the Atkin Essential OM. Now this is a another kind of fairly bare bones Atkin from us. So this is going to be a aged Sitka top, and then a mahogany back and sides and neck, of course. Now with these, you do get the Godot open gear kind of aged tuners, which I like a lot. For those of you out there who don't know, Godot is an excellent tuner brand. And also for those of you who have never played an Atkin before, these are not your standard guitar. This is going to be a very lightweight, almost like a vintage type of feel, while still, to me, these guitars tend to have a lot of the attributes that a vintage guitar will, while still getting rid of some of those quirks of vintage guitars, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, if you go out and you buy a 1940 something, likely there's lots of things that have been done to that guitar, unless you're so lucky to purchase an all-original vintage instrument. Likely there's a lot of things that are done to that guitar. There's usually quirks like frets, tuners, neck resets that have been done. A lot of times you'll see cleats, and then sometimes you'll see bridge replacements, bridge plate replacements, and so forth. Atkin gives you a lot of those attributes of a vintage instrument without the quirks, I would say.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Are there any guitars in the shop made from African blackwood back and sides?
No, we don't have any. I have played a guitar with African blackwood back and sides before. That's a pretty unique tone wood. Don't see that very often at all. I've probably only ever played one or two of them. It's a neat tone wood, resembling, if I recall correctly, resembling kind of rosewood type of sounds and characteristics. But I don't have any in the store right now, so unfortunately none of those. But what I love about this guitar, this Essential OM, is it has that big, robust dryness that is really hard to emulate out of a new guitar. And it's just such a big sounding guitar, especially for an OM. Yeah, they're just wonderful, kind of airy, vintage tone that is really, really hard to do correctly. And it's really a testament to how good Alistair Atkin is over in London, who makes these, or near London. And this guitar is excellent, as maybe a couple of you know who have played them. But this is a fantastic mahogany OM.
Are there any Martin D35s coming in?
I don't know. I'd have to check with John and see what all he's ordered. I imagine that he probably has one on order. It's just about, once again, kind of availability for us and needing to wait. Hurry up and wait. But none that I know of specifically.
I do think somebody was asking if you could play
Oh,
the
okay.
first Atkin that you picked up.
The first one?
The beat up one.
Oh, yeah. The mangled Atkin. So, if a distressed guitar bothers you guys, avert your eyes. But if you like the relict look, and I would say that saying this is relict is putting it lightly, this is more of a heavy-aged guitar. So what I love about these is this reminds me so much of those old LG Gibsons, which I actually have a 50s LG Gibson myself. This is such a great sounding guitar. Such a great sounding guitar. This one is going to be Sitka and maple. It's an aged or a baked Sitka on the top. And then, of course, it's all black, but it is a maple back and sides, all solid. If somebody really loves those small LG style body guitars, this is like a no-brainer. This guitar sounds amazing. However, you do have to get past, you know, the looks and everything. But if you love the way it looks and you like that aged look, this is everything you would ever want. Dry and airy and honestly a vintage guitar. Like, this sounds exactly like, or as close as you could get for a vintage guitar anyway.
Vince says he really likes the look of the one to the left of that one.
Yeah. So this one's a little bit different. A little bit different. Oh, here we go. This is the L36. Now this one is torrefied Sitka still in maple. Torrefied Sitka in maple. Great sounding guitar. Really good. Really, really good. And of course, maybe you can see in the light, of course, with these, but it is kind of that cracked finish, cobwebby type of finish there, which is really, really nice and really well done. I love it. I think it's awesome.
Corey, seems like your picking has gotten really great lately.
Oh, you're welcome.
Was that the right response?
No, probably not, but I don't know what else to say. Thank you. Yeah, any other instruments anybody wants to see? I can play some Martins. Yeah, we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants here because John's out, and he's the one who normally does these things. So any other questions, Janelle?
I'm waiting for people to respond to seeing if we have any more. You're right, Tex. There are 69 people watching and only 38 likes. Hit the like button.
Yeah, Well, that's a lot of people watching. I'm nervous. Okay. Here we got the 000 18s. You guys have probably seen these before. These are fantastic, as always. One of my favorite offerings from Martin is the 000 body size. As far as just like a comfortable player.
Your mom and dad say hello.
Oh, very nice. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, and you know, when it comes to Martin guitars, it seems like nothing quite replaces that. Like there is a certain Martin sound that is so quantifiable and completely in tune with this exact brand. It's hard to say. There's not many others that sound exactly like a Martin, if at all. This guitar's set up really well too.
We do have some requests coming in. Somebody asking if there's anything new from Martin.
Anything new from Martin? So we just got in some D18s, which
And we do have somebody requesting to play a D18 too.
I don't have them over here yet, so they still need to be received. So I don't have them over here yet, but we will be showing those off here shortly. I believe one of them is an Amber Burst D18, which I'm really excited for. Looking forward to that. Let's see what else we got over here.
A request for a Yamaha FS9.
Yeah, let's play that. I forgot to play it, huh? All right. I actually haven't spent much time with these, playing them. I played a lot of the FG9s. Yeah, these guitars are so good.
Is that rosewood or mahogany?
This is rosewood. This is rosewood, Indian rosewood on the back. And then we have an Adirondack spruce top on the top. Yeah, these are fantastic guitars. They're great. What's up?
Can you play the Bourgeois D Vintage Touchstone with the rosewood back?
Sure, yeah. You guys just tell me what you want me to play. I'm taking requests. We're taking requests. All right, so here we have the Bourgeois Touchstone D Vintage. This is the Touchstone series from Eastman and Bourgeois. Another. It's a good sounding guitar already, I can tell. Listen to that D and G string. This thing's massive. This is a really good sounding one. Yeah. So this is the D Vintage. These are great guitars, guys. If you're not familiar or if you haven't had a chance to play them yet, the Vintage, the Country Boy, and then also we have, we just got in, well, we had a Dreadnought that sold yesterday of the DB Signature, but we also have the OM DB Signature here. That one is Madagascar rosewood and Sitka spruce, and that one is actually a torrefied Sitka spruce on the Signature model, which is right here. These guitars are really, really good too. They have the black button tuners on the top, which I really, really like, and then the gold plate tuners. You have some different ornamentation on the fretboard, a tricolor herringbone binding, which I think is super, super nice looking. So yeah, these are fantastic.
We do have someone wondering if the Martin DSS-17 has showed up.
I don't know about that yet. I don't think so. All I saw next door when we just got them just now, so those need to acclimate a little bit. We just need to let them rest for a little while from their travels. If some of you don't know, it's you, or if you've ordered a guitar from us or from anywhere, it's usually best to kind of just give a little bit of breathing room, let that guitar sit and acclimate to your environment before opening it up. Sometimes if you open up a guitar straight away from after it's being transported across country or what have you, if you introduce it to a really quick temperature change or a really different humidity change, bad things can happen. So you kind of want to let it just acclimate for a bit. So that's what we're doing with those. Yeah. Any other guitars anybody wants to hear or sees or fancies?
I'm trying to go back. Somebody was asking, where'd it go? Bulldogger was wanting to know which instrument do you trust the least? I don't know if that means like kind of instrument or brand of instrument, but does an instrument seem untrustworthy to you?
I don't know. I've had some spats with some banjos.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you're talking about like instrument I trust the least, like, it would be violin because I'm really bad at violin and fiddle music. The technique just eludes me, man. I can't figure it out. So that would be that, I guess.
What was that last song that you played?
What was the last song I played? I think I was just playing Cherokee Shuffle in G. It's usually played in A, but I don't have a capo, and I don't want to play out of A position. So, yeah. Awesome. Let's see. What else we got out here? We're just taking you through the tour of the shop. We got all the Martins. I think we've showed off a lot of these Martins. Ooh, I could show this off. All right, so if you guys do not know, over the last year, we've started to see E1D Deluxes come into play. Now this is a really special one. This is the E1D Deluxe in a classic finish. From my understanding, there were only 4 of these made, so there are only 4 of these, period. And they're not going to make any more. But it is a full gloss finish with solid sapele back and sides, solid Sitka top. I know it looks like cedar or something different, but it is a Sitka top on here just with a classic finish. And it is all gloss, except for the neck is, of course, satin finish, which is typical with most guitars these days, I would say. This guitar is super, super limited, and they're awesome. There are only 4 of these. That's it, of those. So if anybody is interested in a classic finish gloss E1D, that is that guy right there. Of course, we have
how much on that one?
These are only $769, so that's not a crazy price for an all solid wood guitar with a gig bag with a lifetime warranty, bone nut and saddle, full scale dreadnought. They're pretty impressive as far as value is concerned.
Any word on when the Iris guitars come in?
Soon, very, very soon. We will show you more as soon as we get it all set up. All right, I think that that's the bulk of what I wanted to go through today. Of course, we do have some Breedloves here. I don't have a ton of new Breedloves in stock, but we did just get in this limited Oregon Series guy. This is the hot rod finish on the Concert, which is really cool. This is the Trimline Hot Rod CE LTD, which is a beautiful kind of reddish orange hue, and with an LR Baggs Anthem installed. These guitars are surprisingly big sounding as well, if you guys haven't played a Breedlove before. Kind of brighter and articulate, really, really nice sounding guitar. This one's right around $3,300. It is all myrtle wood, which is really interesting. I remember talking to Tom Bedell back whenever he had a bit of a TED Talk type of thing here at our shop, actually just right over here. We had a stage set up with Tom, and he was talking about the effects of myrtle wood and the overall benefits of using a style of like a felled tree or a driftwood, like a myrtle wood tends to be in the Northwest. And he was talking about the tonal qualities of myrtle wood, which I completely agree with. He said myrtle wood tends to be kind of like a jack of all trades when it comes to exemplifying all of the different frequencies. So you have like your mids, your highs, your lows, and myrtle wood kind of covers all of the bases there, which I think is really cool because I think he's right. It doesn't necessarily, to me, this is again an opinion, it doesn't always excel at any single one of them, but it gives you all of that in one package as a guitar tone would, which is really cool. And yeah, I think they sound fantastic. They're really good guitars, and they play great too.
Vince is asking you to play the classic finish one.
Oh, okay. This one's got a little bit of a chunky neck on it. Feels good though, to me. It's a good sounding guitar. Yeah, so that's the E1D Deluxe Classic. It actually doesn't say, oh, it does, E1D Classic Deluxe, it says on the inside. So yeah, there are 4 of these out there. If any of you are interested in that, they are extremely, extremely limited. I imagine they will not do that again.
That's the only one of those that we have, though, right?
No, I think
Or
that...
do we have another?
I think, yeah, we do have another one over here. I think that John secured at least 2 of these, maybe more even, of the 4 that were made. But we do have 2 out here on the floor right now. There may be more. Maybe John got all of them. I have no idea. But I see with my own eyes 2 here in the shop. So that is a super limited thing. So, yeah. We have any other questions, Janelle?
I don't think so, but we are coming up on an hour. Do you want to talk about the bluegrass at the ballpark? For a
Yeah,
moment?
yeah. So this upcoming Friday, which is the 26th, I believe. Yeah, that's right. The 26th. We are having Bluegrass Night at Hammons Field. So this is here in Springfield. We're going to be hosting a bit of a jam from 6 to 7 o'clock right out front of the stadium. Where we'll have like a little tent and some things that we will be doing there. And then, of course, we'll watch the game. Everybody gets a shirt who orders a ticket. And we also have the option of upgrading that actually to a jersey as well. So these are, feel free to scan this on your phones if you're interested in getting a shirt or a jersey. And even if you're not able to come to the game, we have lots of people who order a shirt. So if you do want one of these shirts or the upgraded jersey, you can go to our website and you can find that there. And if you can make it to the game, please come because we're all going to be there jamming with you out front of the stadium and then also having a good night of watching baseball. So it'll be a lot of fun. Come out. Come hang out with me.
All right.
Only if you want to.
I think we can probably wrap it up at this
Cool.
point.
All right. Well, this was sort of the ramblings of Corey on a Thursday afternoon here. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Of course, if y'all ever have any questions about anything that we have in the store or anything that we got going on, you can always feel free to call us or send us an email. We're always happy to talk about guitars, about mandolins, and begrudgingly about banjos as well. I'm just kidding. I like banjos. They're just very loud. Yeah, so we're always happy to help, and yeah, thanks for hanging out with us on this Thursday afternoon, and have a great rest of your day.